Hey, ladies, welcome to Messy Money Topics here at Black Women Making Money. This is your girl Cherie here. I'm going to put on the 2 minute clock, really 90 seconds, give us a chance to have people come in. Like the video if you're listening to the replay. And we are going to get started with some messy money topics on this Monday, the first Monday of 2025. So, Happy New Year to all my ladies. Okay, here's the 90-second clock, and then we're going to jump in to talk about some great topics. Here we go. Welcome to Black Women Making Money. We are the home of the upwardly mobile Black woman. For exclusive content and invitations to our Inner Circle Zoom meetings, which happen on a monthly basis, you can sign up for free for our email newsletter at bwmakingmoney.com. That's bwmakingmoney.com. Hey, ladies, welcome. Don't forget to hit the like button for me. How is everybody doing on this first official Monday of 2025? I will tell you right now, your girl is tired. If I had not made the commitment to be here on Mondays, I wouldn't be here. But the more you talk back to me, I decided to do messy money topics because it's something that's light. I need to kiki. Y'all know I just got a promotion at work, and today and last week has just been draining on your girl. Whenever you get a promotion or whenever things change, shift at work, there's a lot of stuff. I've had more continuing education to do. I still have another 32 modules of this onboarding to do for this new job. I'm not complaining. I'm just kind of letting you ladies know because this is real life, right? People are starting to send me more and more stuff because I have more and more responsibilities. And I'm trying to make sure that my assistant is on top of the things that she needs to be on top of. And I also just was really sick this weekend. And I was like, I looked at the clock. I said, it's 6:30. Do I really want to come on and talk with the ladies? And I said, you know what? I will do it if it's a messy money topic. And if the ladies kind of just come in and you all got to rock with me today, you have to, if you don't like a topic, we can move on to the next topic. I have quite a few messy money topics that we can talk about, including this one video about these scammers in Ghana that you ladies are going to love, but there's also lessons in every messy money topic that we're going to go through. So, Still Rocks is in the building saying, when I work at a bank, I had this lady trying to wire a soldier that she was in love with. I literally took her phone and did Google image search to show her who that this wasn't who she thought. Good for you, Still Rocks. We're going to talk about it tonight. She still didn't believe me. Of course, my branch declined to approve the wire. She was upset. Well, at least when things turned around and she got clear-headed, she wouldn't come back to your branch to either sue you all or like, get you all in trouble because you didn't say something. So that's the way to do it. Denise is in the building saying hello, and she's saying congratulations on your new role. Thank you so much, girl. I am so tired right now. I'm just like, okay, I believe if I can make it through the first month. The president of the company called me today and was like, "How are things going?" And I just did a verbal, like, "I'm missing this and I'm missing this." And I mean, it wasn't horrible, right? People are trying to do their pieces, but I was just like, I just want to make sure everything is straight so, I could have everything I need. So it was one of those things as well. But I work for actually a great company. So they were like, okay, we're on it. So um Live Lovely or Live Lovely is here saying, "Hey, Cherie, big snowstorm in DC for the first Monday of the year. I am Northern Maryland, and yes, we had snow. And it's supposed to apparently snow this evening as well, Live Lovely. Did you hear that as well? My mother was telling me that so everybody, we did get snow, but I understand a lot or a fair amount of the country got snow as well. So we got snow, we got a nice amount of snow. The dogs really loved the snow. They were out there playing and having a good time this afternoon. And then my mother said that we're supposed to get another snowstorm this evening. So yeah. Um, yes, Zell Rocks is a good person for doing that. Yes, Tanisha, you're absolutely right. My girl Victoria's in the house saying we got our first snow in Virginia. I love it. Yes, yes, girl. The snow was really nice. And we've got the greatest neighbors. Our neighbor has like this big snowplow thing, and he comes and he plows our snow and he plows their snow. So yes, long live my neighbors. So, that's why I say don't sleep on rural America. You get into rural America and people will take care of you. If they like you, they will definitely take care of you. So Victoria was frolicking in it. Were you doing snow angels, Victoria? You were frolicking in the snow. Were you doing your snow angels? What were you doing, girl? I also want to let everybody know that I am still looking for my research assistant for the Black Women Making Money, not only channel, but community. I'm looking for somebody who really is into TikTok, if TikTok is still going to be around, you're into Instagram, and you're into Reddit potentially as well. And I, find stuff all the time on YouTube. But and maybe you're on Twitter, for example, maybe, that's not a job requirement, but I find a lot of stuff on YouTube and I find stuff in like the news itself. But I want to, starting in about March this year, I want to start bringing more like financial literacy stuff by showing other people's lives and the things that they're doing and not doing. And I need some eyes scouring. If you're already on those platforms, scouring for topics for us to discuss on Monday evenings. Because of my promotion, I'm only going to go live on Monday evenings. And then a couple of times a week, I may do a pre recorded video and drop it for you ladies. But other than that, you're only going to find me live Monday evenings for Money Monday. So whenever you think Monday, think Money Monday and think that it's your time to catch up with Cherie over here at Black Women Making Money. That's the only time I'm going to be live. So if you're interested in the research assistant position, then email me bwmakingmoney@gmail.com, bwmakingmoney@gmail.com. It will be paid a slight stipend. So I don't believe in doing anything for free. Slight stipend is not going to pay your bills full time or even part time. It's like a little thing as you're perusing, stories for you to send some over to me based on some of the things that I'm looking for. And it's probably going to start in March or April. So again, bwmakingmoney@gmail.com. For example, I came across a really good video, which was a TikTok compilation of people telling us how much their car notes are. Came up with another compilation on YouTube about people talking about their payday loans. One woman is paying 526%. I'm sure Victoria's going to have a field day with that one. But she's paying 526% interest on her payday loan. So these are the kinds of things that we want to talk about in this community, not as a way of wagging our fingers at people, but a way of figuring out how we can save ourselves, from making financial mistakes. And I think a lot of stuff would be, shared on TikTok and Reddit, and maybe even Twitter if you're over on Twitter. Um, so Victoria was just walking around taking pictures while she was frolicking. She was not doing the snow angels. Live Lovely saying it's been snowing all day and last night, and yes, I've seen so many cute dogs. Live Lovely saying I heard there may be another snow event before the inauguration, but can't confirm. Okay. And Purple Rain is saying, I also saw another compilation about home buyers not being able to keep up with out of pocket and unexpected expenses. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So I just don't have time to learn TikTok. I've never gotten into Twitter, so I know that there's one of you young ladies out there, or even Gen Xers who are like really into those things and you know how to find those clips easily and send them to me. So I have a list of stuff that I want to discuss, but I need the content to go with it. So Purple Rain is saying, I saw one lady talking about how she's tired of the HOA fees and how new construction houses have extra taxes. This is true. We talked about this earlier on the channel, but these are the kinds of financial literacy things that I want to bring back to the channel and have us really talk about and use other people's confessions. Especially, Reddit is the place where people have some real confessions. But Reddit and TikTok, especially, where people kind of say these things and we're able to look at these things and say, okay, how can we navigate differently? What are the things that we should be doing? What are the things that we should be looking out for? Who are the people we can trust when we're about to make a decision like this, to be able to go to a person like a Victoria or like a mentor Shelley and say, would you just look over this for me? Does this look like something that I should, does this look good? Does this not look good? Um, is there perhaps some way that I could get a better interest rate or better terms? And look, I believe in paying my ladies, right? So if you go to Victoria, she's going to require a consultation fee. If you go to Mentor Shelley, she's going to require a consultation fee. But it's going to be much better for you to pay the consultation fee than for you to spend 500 and something percent in a payday loan. Okay. Or paying 20 something percent for a car loan. We want to be smart. UMBWs are financially savvy women. And what we want to do on this channel is talk about the things that are going to make us financially savvy, but I want to do it in an edutaining way. And the way for me to do that is going to be through us looking at TikToks and Instagram and Reddit stories and things like that, versus me just coming up here and lecturing, which I have no interest in doing. And I know Mentor Shelley and Victoria don't have an interest in doing that either. So that's the vision. The vision is the last half of 2025 is to expand the UMBW family, the Black Women Making Money family, to grow, to 5,000, 10,000 subscribers. I know that we can do that as well. I just haven't put the consistency into the channel. I'm busy, as y'all know, but that's what we're going to be looking to do. We want to grow the family while also I'm very, very cautious and conscious of the topics that I have on this channel. That's one of the reasons why I don't have a lot of relationship topics on this channel, because anytime you talk about relationships, you get, I'm going to call it riffraff. My mother hates it when I say that, but she's not here. But you get riffraff. even if I'm trying to have a serious conversation with you. So, I only do about 20% of my content on relationships of any kind. The other 80%, I want it to be on nice, boring stuff that's going to make us money, even though we don't want the content to be boring. We want the content to be kind of fun. Um, so Rox is saying, I was just watching and reading today about people being house poor. Yep, I saw a few videos on that I want to talk about. So Reddit is always a case study, Purple Rain. People on Reddit, because it's so anonymous, they say some crazy-ish on Reddit. So to the point where I want to I do have a Reddit account and they do send me emails. And now I'm like, okay, I really wanna go through some of the subreddits and really pick out some of the crazy stuff that people say. So, even house flipping horror stories. Yes, I will do that as well, Purple Rain. That's a really good idea. Real estate investment stories. We're going to talk about that. Even though I am a lender, I am a mortgage lender, I work with a lot of investors. I always tell my UMBWs to know what you're doing before you get into real estate investing. I've seen horrible videos about Section 8 tenants. I've seen horrible videos about tenants, period. I've seen horrible videos about people having the title to their properties where they're living, the name on the title changing to somebody else's name. I've seen just craziness happening. So if you're going to get into flipping, if you're going to get into any kind of real estate investing, if you're going to buy property for you to live in, there are certain things that you need to do in order to protect yourself. And we're going to talk about those things by looking at what other people have done that have been mistakes and say, okay, here's how we can fix this. Here's how we can correct this. Because the best thing to do is learn from somebody else's mistake instead of making our own. So Victoria saying, I just got off consultation with a young lady considering bankruptcy, breaks my heart, but I gave her a plethora of other options she didn't even consider. Victoria does really great work, ladies. So if you need credit coaching, debt coaching, anything like that, I don't have a passion for it. I don't want to do it. I could do it, but I don't want to do it. And I'm so grateful that Victoria is in our lives because I'm just like, go see Victoria, right? With your careers, I'm like, go see Mentor Shelley. At some point, I may open up hold up my shingle on Calendly and let you ladies set appointments, and we could talk about your networking plans. I love, love, love networking. I don't always feel like networking, but I love networking because I see the difference in my life that my network makes to the tune of probably seven figures over the course of a 10-year period with just one person in my network. So I am thinking if I consult anybody about anything, it'll be your networking plan. How do we get your networking plan up running to where it's easy for you to do? Doesn't mean you're always going to want to go. Doesn't mean you're always going to want to get out of your house, put your wig on, make sure your curls are done, put your heels on, put your lipstick on and go. But I know the power of that. I know the power of one person being able to add another $25 to $50,000 a year in your salary, and you multiply that by your next 20 to 30 years of working. I know the power of monkey branching, and the only way you're going to be able to do that, yeah, I'm going to say the only way. The only way you're going to be able to do that 21st century in the 21st century is by networking, by your skills and your networks. So y'all can put a 1 in the chat if at some point you would want me to put my shingle up with regards to the networking plans. Put a 2 in the chat if you're like, no, Cherie, that sucks as an idea. But I think I'm gonna do it no matter what, no matter what, because I just know, and I'm not here to make tons of money and make 6 figures consulting or anything like that. I just want to be able to help people with like, how do I take these abstract things that I'm telling you on YouTube and turn it into a real plan that's bullet point 1, 2, 3 that you could just go find the networking events, put them on your calendar, know where you're going, know who you need to talk to, who you need to target, what you need to say when you get in front of them, how to get their contact information, how to get their personal email and cell phone number. Because for some people, it's different. There's a difference between you getting what's on their card that gives you the 800 number, and when they turn over their business card and write their personal cell phone number on the back. That's very different, right? How do you connect with that person after you've met them at the event? How do you continue having an ongoing relationship with them so that, you know, 10 years after I met this admiral, I call him a couple of days after the election and he calls me back the same day? That takes strategy. Y'all are saying ones here. Thank you. That takes real strategy. And I don't see other people really like digging into that on YouTube, on social media. And I feel like that's going to be my place, is to really help you craft those plans. So, um, Victoria's saying, tell me about it. I just signed up to be an ambassador of a big meetup group here in Richmond. I don't have a choice. Folks ain't going to come to my door. They're not coming to any of our doors. They are not coming to any of our doors. Okay, so let's talk about some messy money topics, ladies. Let's talk about some messy money topics. The first one is about ladies' night being under attack. I don't know if you all have seen this in the news, but ladies' night being under attack. Let's listen to the Young Turks talk about this overall, and then you all again comment, because the more comments you give me, y'all know I'm so tired, right? The more comments you give me, the more like we'll talk about messy money topics. So let me know if you've heard about this story before. Here we go.
First, let me give you all the details so you know what we're dealing with here. So during Lima's ladies' night, drinks and wine were half price for women for 3 hours every week. That's it. Now, the promotion had been going on for years, but the restaurant says that this year we were sued for discrimination, alleging that all patrons who do not identify as female, including men, non-binary individuals, and transgender men, were required to pay full price for their alcoholic beverages, while patrons who identify as female were given 50% off for their alcoholic beverages. And because of the way California law is written, the owner, Marquez, was basically forced to settle for an undisclosed amount of money. So California's 1959 UNRRA Civil Rights Act says businesses cannot discriminate against religion, race, and gender. In 1985, the state's Supreme Court ruled that Ladies' Day promotions at car washes, restaurants, and nightclubs actually did violate the act. And at least 22 states and the District of Columbia have passed explicit laws against gender discrimination in public accommodations, which is normally good, except when it's abused, right? When these types of regulations or these laws are abused. So,
okay, so let's start off with this, and then we're going to continue listening to this. So, ladies' night may be going away in certain states. Put a 2 in the chat if you've heard about this. Put a 3 in the chat if this is the first time you're hearing about this. Ladies' night may be going away in different states. California, the most liberal place out there, has this law in the books, which we would think is good. You can't discriminate against women, right? You can't discriminate against women until people start challenging these laws. And they're like, but wait a second, you're offering 50% off for the women versus the men. Therefore, I'm being discriminated against as a man because I want my 50% off of my drink. Now, I don't know about you ladies. I've done hella numbers of ladies' nights, right? Happy hour. You're right, Purple Rain. Pet tea. Petty. We can't have anything anymore. So you can't discriminate against by race. You can't discriminate by, gender. And people are taking this to the extreme. If you live in DC, the laws are on the book. They're saying 22 states, the laws are on the books. It could also mean places where the laws are not on the books, they may ultimately end up being on the books. Yes, the pink tax definitely exists. But what's wrong with the ladies getting 50% off? These are some petty, petty people, right? There's a lot of petty people in the world. And the we want equality for everything. And trust me, I'm an equality or equity, I don't know which one I am, girl, right? I believe that, yeah, if I can do the job as well as a man could, let's say for me being a mortgage loan officer, there's no reason why I should be paid less for the same loan as a man, right? No reason. However, if this restaurant wants to, for 3 hours a week, say, hey, Cherie, come in and get your margarita half off. A lot of these um, clubs, these nightclubs, and a lot of these restaurants, the way they get the men through the door is to get the women through the door. And the way they get the women through the door is through ladies' night. And yes, people are being petty, petty LaBelle. Petty LaBelle, yes, it's potential that fewer women are going to show up at these things. Notice how women don't complain about boys' nights. Of course, we don't. I think that a boys' night is healthy for men. Let them go play pool, play darts, do whatever they want to do. If they want to have a barbershop that's only for men, let them. Why not? They want to talk they're going to talk their boy stuff no matter what, right? If a woman did the same thing, if a woman was like, that's an all men's barbershop, I'm going to sue them. I'd be like, go find another barbershop to go to. So yeah, people are definitely starting to get petty. Denise is Gen X, and that's how men met women. Exactly. Exactly. Especially these days that women don't want to be on these dating apps as much. Then the men would be confused talking about where the women at. Where the women at? Victoria thinks that men really want to be together for real, just being covert about it. I hope not. I hope not, because this is crazy. All right, so I'm going to continue with this and let you all, because I want you to hear a little bit more about this story, because to me, it's even more ridiculous. Let's keep listening.
The chef and owner of Lima, his name is John Marquez, says that this lawsuit cost his restaurant tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees. And so they tried to raise money on GoFundMe, but only raised about $4,353 of its $30,000 goal. And so they just recently announced that they'd be closing permanently after operating for 9 years. Here is the notice that they put up at the restaurant. Now, Marquez and his family believe that they were targeted by people who aren't local and just wanted to take advantage of California's laws.
That's a shame. So they are forcing this restaurant to close. How many people worked in that restaurant? Will that family have to go bankrupt because of this, because of some pettiness? They weren't doing anything that was like Black people not allowed in the restaurant or men not allowed in the restaurant or, take your ethnic group or your, green people aren't allowed in the restaurant. That's not what they were doing. So it is a messy money topic, but it's also a serious topic. You went in there and destroyed this family's lives. How many people are now unemployed because of this? This is serious. This is serious. These lawsuits, these petty lawsuits are costing people their financial freedom. And again, I can understand if the restaurant was like, no Black people allowed, or no Black women allowed, or no Black men allowed, or no green people allowed, but that's not what they said. They didn't even say no men allowed. They just said, hey, we're going to give ladies 50% off their drinks. Yeah, Purple Rain, and we never talk about that part. And the only people making money are the lawyers. The lawyer was like that. Yeah, the only people making money off of this is the lawyers. And now you've got dishwashers, you've got hostesses, you've got, what do you call it? Waitresses. You've got food vendors as well. Suppose they were buying food locally from the local farmer. You got a whole supply chain that's disrupted because somebody decided to be freaking petty. So no, I'm not, haranguing, hip hip haranguing whoever did this. I want to keep going though because she says more in here. It's just like another 30 seconds.
He says it's a frivolous lawsuit that took us down. It's just ambulance chasing lawyers. And this isn't the first ladies' night-esque lawsuit. In fact, earlier this year in California, of course, the minor league baseball team, Fresno Grizzlies, were sued for a promotion event for women. And across California, San Diego lawyer Alfred Rava filed hundreds of lawsuits against women's organizations and women-only events, from the Grizzlies promotion to female-led startups to Mother's Day freebies, claiming they're unfair to men.
If you live in California and you come across Alfred Rava, don't do anything to him physically, just shake your head. This is the dumbest thing. He is an ambulance chaser. This is how he's making his money, by suing companies that are like, hey, we want to attract more women to the baseball game. Hey, we want to attract more women, their mothers, and we want to give them Mother's Day, something free for Mother's Day. Hey, we want to attract more women, and women are doing startup businesses, and we want to give them a great day at the baseball field in order to enjoy themselves. This is the craziest thing. All I'm saying to you as well, ladies, is watch out for this in a city near you. Because whoever this Alfred Rava guy is, other people are going to start taking tips from him. And yeah, you're right. It's weird. And then they want to complain about the lack of jobs. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So, screw this guy. Screw this guy. Okay, let's talk about a way for you to make some money, ladies. Some Wall Street elites are paying $700 an hour for a therapist. Ladies, for all of you with your psychology degrees, and you're wondering how you're going to pay off your student loans and how you're going to make your money, may I suggest to you that you become a therapist to the Wall Street elite. Put a 4 in the chat if you've heard about this story. Put a 5 in the chat if you didn't know you could make this much money helping the Wall Street elites. They're paying $700 an hour for a therapist. Tell me if you've heard this story. You could make $700 an hour as a therapist. What are they talking about? They're talking about their fears of exposure related to certain types of addictions. I have it on the screen here. You all can read the addictions. Mentor Shelley's in the building. Hello, Mentor Shelley. Mentor Shelley hadn't heard about this. Yes, girl. Yes, you can make $700 an hour. You put your little therapist hat on and you could talk about all of their issues that they're concerned are going to come out. The reason that they can't have it come out is because they probably would lose access to, all of the billions of dollars that they're moving around on a daily basis. I would also think gambling addictions are probably a big concern as well. Coverage highlights the cost of mental health support in elite financial circles. So this is what Business Insider was talking about, and you heard about it. Purple Rain heard about it in a documentary. It's called The Wealth Psychologist. I had heard of The Wealth Psychologist. Yes. Um, yes, a lot of finance bros are into certain things anonymous as well. Yep, absolutely. So I'm going to show you all something that I saw here. And we're not going to laugh at this guy. I just want to show you how people are making money. This is a messy money topic. And let's just make it a little bit smaller here, just so we don't end up with a copyright issue. But let's take a look at this here. This is a woman who is a professional cuddler. And when I first heard about it, actually, I'll make it bigger just for the first like 30 seconds and then I'll make it smaller. When I first heard about it, it was actually Victoria who told me about professional cuddlers. And I'm like, there are not people who make money being a professional cuddler. And then in my YouTube timeline, this came about. I have been holding on to this for months, but since it's a Messy Money Monday, let's talk about inside the loneliness epidemic, from professional cutlers to social club to co-housing. All we're going to watch is a professional cutler guy. Here we go.
Are you comfortable?
Yes, I'm honestly trying to fight falling asleep instantly.
And if you fall asleep, do you want me to wake you up?
Yes.
Okay.
Jasmine Simone works as a professional cuddler, using the power of platonic touch therapy to help adults struggling with issues from intimacy to anxiety to loneliness. Where are we right now? We're sitting on a bed right now.
This is my day bed, and this is what we use when people want to actually engage and touch. We can touch, and we don't need to be romantically involved, and it's still a really beautiful thing.
Jasmine is on the front lines of helping the growing number of people grappling with loneliness. According to a
All right, I'm going to stop it here just so I don't get a copyright strike. I see Victoria is still here. She's saying if people aren't so creepy, it's not a bad idea. I know it will creep me out, but I'm definitely like, girl, get your coins. And if we get to the part in here, she's going to say how much money she makes per hour. I think she makes a few $100s per hour. I was like, damn, girl, get your coins. And they asked her like, how many regulars do you have? And she looked at them and she was like, a lot. She has a lot of regulars. So Purple Rain is saying, but honestly, any business you do target people with disposable income. Well, that's the truth. That's the truth. Look, there's a lot of money in targeting incels. We're going to talk about it tonight because there's a lot of scamming. And I'm not saying that this woman is a scammer. You know, this professional cuddler, she seems like a regular business owner, right? There's a lot of scamming going on in the incel community. Let's just say it. We're going to listen to a couple of things tonight with regards to this. If people will pay, why not? I'll hug on some people well as long as the house is clean and they smell good. Well, here's the thing. They're coming to her office or her house or her domain. So she has control over the space. So, yeah. Mr. Shelley remembers Victoria talking about this as wow. Yeah. But, look, if people not pay her, why not? I thought the professional cuddlers were weird when I found out about it on Dr. Phil. Well, we're going to watch this lady here and we're going to see how her business works.
New Gallup report. About 20% of American adults report feeling daily loneliness, the highest level in 2 years. The nation's Surgeon General even saying we're in the midst of a loneliness epidemic. And chronic loneliness can impact more than just your mental health. It comes with a physical toll too.
It can do everything from increase rates of high blood pressure, heart disease, increase rates of dementia, and actually decrease how long we live.
So, look, like we're talking about in here, if you're able to start a business helping these individuals, a lot of these people are like I said, incels, or they're just antisocial and they need people to bring things out of them. There are people that will pay you to they'll pay you to like go to the movies with them, for example. There's this woman that I saw in New York. I wish I could find her story again. I saw it years ago, but she was like, you know how we have our big mamas? She was like a big mama type. They called her Aunt Somebody, and she was in her 70s. And all she would do is go around and give people motherly advice. And people, white people, white people were paying her hundreds of dollars. Oh no, I don't think it was hundreds of dollars. I think at the time it was like $70 an hour. I think it was $70 an hour to just give that motherly advice and be mom to them, because they were saying that they were living in the city and they were missing home, they were missing mom, they were missing that motherly touch, and she did that for them. So yeah, I want to go back to look looking at this guy here. So let's keep listening.
Wallace has been having cuddle therapy sessions with Jasmine for a year.
Is loneliness something you deal with?
Yeah, I work a lot from home. Yeah, definitely loneliness is a bit of an issue. Yeah.
Does the touch therapy help with addressing that?
Yeah, I found myself being nervous in certain cases, whether people were very close, like moving in too close or taking up my space, or even being touched. And I wanted to find a way to not have that threatening anymore.
Jasmine says there are clear boundaries and consent with her patients.
So how does it work for you? When someone walks through the doors, what do you do?
I first do a consultation. I want to know what piqued their interest about touch and cuddle therapy.
All right, we're gonna stop it again so we don't end up with any copyright issues. But you're saying here people are touch deprived. When I moved to Virginia, I hadn't had a hug in almost a year, so I get it. Yeah. That's why I don't understand why people were mad at the quote, your average at best lady. She owns a pet grooming business. Absolutely. Absolutely. And if one of you came to me and said, hey, Sheree, because it's a nice video, I'm going to start the professional cuddling thing. You know me, I'm always like, just know what you're doing. Know what you're doing. Know what kind of security measures you need to be in place, and then go get your coins. If somebody needs a hug, if 20% of Americans are lonely, and in bigger cities, that number is probably higher with the numbers of people that are lonely, and you're talking to people who have disposable income, you could make a good $200,000 a year, most likely, being a professional cuddler and set your own hours. So Purple is saying, I'm not a physical touch person, but I get that a lot of people are touch starved. They are. Pepperoni is saying, oh yeah, I heard about the Japanese guy that had people pay him to be a friend. I heard about this guy as well. So some other points, sorry, we'll bring this guy in. And my understanding is he gets paid $70,000 a year to be people's friends. 70 grand a year to be people's friends. And I don't know if he gets people together, if he sees them one-on-one. So I saw the headline, but I want to see the information. Like, I got to read it. But yeah, and it's all non-sexual for him. Yeah. Just hiring someone to keep them company platonically. Yep. I heard about that guy. Mentor Shelley is saying this is giving her some ideas. Well, see, you come to Messy Money Topics, you leave with more coins. I love it. I love it. So Rox is saying, I actually feel lonely quite a lot. I'm not going to lie. I work remote too. Ubering part-time has been helping a lot. I have people I have to pick up every day, and I actually look forward to interacting with a couple. Well, good for you. And, over time, I hope that some of that, more of that loneliness subsides with you as well. So I work remote, but I live with my mom and our 2 dogs. And because of that, I have that human connection and that touch. I couldn't imagine not living, with my mom. I don't know if I would ever live with anybody else unless it was like a Golden Girls house, but we'll see. We'll see. Her brain is saying, I just want to know what the boundaries are looking like. And she talks a little bit about them in here, but I definitely suggest you do more of your research as well. So Denise is saying, same thing when I relocated to Charlotte. It had been a month before I got a hug. This doesn't sound crazy to me. Purple Rain is saying, even I've seen people who are professional organizers and they just help you organize your house. I know a woman who made $5,000 a month organizing people's garages. She would go in, so her whole thing, and this was in the early 2000s, so you can imagine the inflation adjustment now. But the early 2000s, her whole thing was, um, I will come to your house for one day and we will organize one room and you get to pick the room. And her first month in business, she said the number one room that people wanted organizing was her garage. She put some flyers in her community. They were like townhouse. It was a townhouse community. And she made $5,000. And this was like maybe 2002, 2003. So you can put your inflation counter on that. So if any of y'all are looking for a way to make money and you know how to organize people, and you live like someplace where people, it needs to be manageable, right? You're not trying to go to mansions, but yeah, she said that the number one place that people wanted her to organize was their garage, and she was making five, and she did that part-time because people would just do it Saturdays and Sundays, right? So she wasn't even doing it full-time. She was making good money with that. So being solo ain't for the faint of heart. That's right, Victoria. Her brain is saying you can even niche it down and do ADHD organizing and planning. Yeah, God bless you with that. Because then we start getting into hoarding and y'all lost me there. But let's keep listening to this lady here.
I want to know what their touch history is. There's clear understanding of having agency over your body in the session. At no point am I going to touch you in a way that you're not comfortable with or that you're not curious about, and vice versa. So the boundaries are rigid boundaries. There's no touching anywhere bathing suit covers.
Seeing a professional cuddler isn't for everyone. Experts warn that if cuddle therapy ends abruptly, there can be feelings of abandonment, rejection, loss, and even despair.
Oh, let's go back to this, ladies.
And even
So this means if you are a professional cuddler, and you cut someone off abruptly, they can feel abandonment, rejection, loss, and despair. And when people go cray cray, and they know where you live, if you're going to have this as a home business, or they know where they can find you and when they can find you, this is where you need to be like putting your thinking caps on with regards to how are you going to protect yourselves. You're not dealing with an individual that has a whole lot of other people. It's just like a man who you have to trick him into breaking up with you. You don't necessarily, even though he may have 5,000 other girlfriends, if he's locked into you, you have to make sure that you can figure out a way to get him to break up with you versus you breaking up with him because he's cuckoo. And I'm not saying these people are cuckoo. I am saying though that this is where you have to know. Like we're reading between the lines here, right? This is where you have to know what you're doing if you're going to be a professional cuddler. Because if people feel rejected, if people feel despair, if they feel like they let you in and you turn your back on them, then what? Then what? That's how people end up unalived. You're saying, Purple Rain, that's my whole thing with OF. Like people get really attached. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So Rock's saying, I had this girl that ordered an Uber because her car wouldn't start. She called her dad. He had to drive hours to assist. Come to find out, she just needed a new battery. Oh, well, good. I'm glad that she had you there. Victoria's saying stories like this are the main reason I don't subscribe to the idea that humans are meant to be isolated and alone. Yeah, people should have multiple people that they can go to. They should have multiple outlets. They absolutely should. It's a huge occupational risk and it could end up like stalking. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right, we're done with this story here. So, we're going to move to the next story, a messy money topic. How many of you are familiar with the singer Meghan Trainor? Put a 6 in the chat if you know Meghan Trainor. Put a 7 in the chat if you don't know Meghan Trainor. Put a 6 in the chat if you know Meghan Trainor. Put a 7 in the chat if you don't know Meghan Trainor. She's a singer. She did that song that all about that bass, about that bass, about that bass. And she's done some other songs, little poppy songs, right? Pop songs. Apparently, she admits that she cannot smile any longer because of too much Botox. This is sad, ladies. This is sad. When you can't smile, you can't do something just normal. So I see a person here has 7. Mr. Shelley doesn't know anything about this pop thing. So let's show a picture of Meghan Trainor. This is a newer picture of her. She used to be a little, I guess you can say, chunkier. She used to be like a size 16, a healthy size 16. I always thought her songs were kind of cute, right? But I don't know if she took Ozempic or what she did, but she lost a whole bunch of weight a few years ago. And now apparently she's saying here, I got too much Botox and I need help. The singer admitted during a recent episode of her Working On It podcast. I've messed up. I've had Botox a handful of times just on my forehead, explaining she decided to experiment in another area on her face. And now she reveals she cannot smile anymore after overdoing it on Botox. I was very surprised, my UMBWs, to discover how many of the Black housewives were starting to get Botox. Because for years, Black women really, we weren't fooling with that. We weren't fooling with Botox and, all the facelift stuff and all of that. And the first time when I really saw it being pushed, so one year I saw Andy, this is for the Atlanta Housewives. One year I saw Andy talk to the ladies about, hey, are you all doing Botox or anything? And all of the Atlanta Housewives said, no, not doing any Botox. We don't need that. And I swear the next year he asked them the same thing. And they started saying, yeah, I've got this Botox. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. It was weird. And to me, it seemed kind of like programming. Because the first year when he asked them, he had also asked like Beverly Hills and all of the Beverly Hills ladies. This was before Garcelle Beauvais was on it, when they were all white women. All of the Beverly Hills ladies had Botox and facelifts and things like that. And none of the Atlanta ladies had. And then it started spilling over. So don't follow all of these trends, girl. A lot of this stuff is psychological. A lot of this stuff is people wanting us to be the next group of people with our disposable income to hop on these what do you call it? These gimmicks and things like that. So yeah, I mean, the fact that you can't smile anymore because either you got too much Botox or you had the wrong person putting it in. It's like people doing these BBLs, people doing these things with veneers on their teeth, all of that stuff. Sometimes, ladies, sometimes the gap in your tooth, you know, and the slight crow's feet are just what you're going to get when you're 60. And just keep it moving, you know? Purple Rain is saying like Nene goes to the same doctor as Kim Kardashian. And why? She didn't have to. She didn't have to. Victoria is saying, I mean, I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed to it. I just do think as UMBWs, we need to make sure that we're not being persuaded to do stuff because there are influences and influencers out there who get paid billions of dollars a year to persuade us to do things that we would not have thought of, that we would never naturally do. So that's my only thing. People ask, so if somebody asks me if I'm woke, yeah, hell yeah, I'm woke. I'm woke against anything with regards to what are you trying to put in my head? Yep, I sure am woke. Even though my professional setting, I'm going to ask them, well, what do you mean by woke? Right? But yep, I'm woke. I want to know what you're trying to put in my head. Do you want the red pill or the blue pill? I want the red pill. I want to see everything. I don't want you all getting over me at all. She's only 31. Yeah, she could be. I guess so. That would sound about right. You're wondering who did the Botox. It may be in the article. I have no idea. Veneers is a big one. Yeah, the veneers are bad, ladies. The veneers are, unless you're getting it done by a licensed dentist, and I wouldn't even believe the Google reviews as much anymore. We'll do a session and I will tell you the website that my dentist told me to go to in order to find my new dentist. So my dentist ended up retiring. And I was like, I want a dentist that's as good as you are. And he told us the website to go to. One day we'll do a session about like health and things like that and bring some resources when we do one of our future Messy Money topics. And I'll show you the website that he sent me to. And he was like, pick somebody on this website because they are like real dentists, real doctors, real dentists. And they do a lot of extra continuing education per year. And they also have the state-of-the-art equipment in their offices. So, and we ended up going to a fabulous dentist. I thought I would never leave my dentist. I was prepared to drive 2.5 hours each way to continue going to my dentist. That was the only doctor that I was committed to continuing to go to see, but he retired. And I'm like, okay, you got to give me somebody that's as good as you are. And he was like, go to this website and pick somebody only from this website. And that's what we did. So, because these Google reviews these days, people lying about the Google reviews, lying about the Yelp reviews and all of that as well. So, if these women end up getting facelifts anyway, the Botox is a waste. Yeah, it's true. Victoria's saying, when I show up on screen with my whole new face, you all better not say anything. Well, I might text you behind the scenes, but no. I wouldn't say anything on YouTube, but I might text you behind the scenes. Girl, you okay? Purple Rain is saying, but then again, Nene also bought her Thanksgiving dinner from Neiman Marcus or Saks, something like that. Yeah, Nene is, I do not believe Nene has as much money as she lets on. And I do believe that Greg was extremely helpful to Nene in a lot of areas of her life. So, Minter Shelley is saying, I personally think UMBWs don't need it. We don't need it. We don't need it. You drink water, you eat healthy, eat your fruits and vegetables, your lean meats, go, work out 4 times a week, drink water, drink a lot of water, stay as much as possible away from alcohol, weed, we're going to say it here, marijuana, drugs, things like that. You don't need all that Botox and everything. And because of our melanin, we have the ability to age gracefully. We really, really do. So I have heard that Botox is good for migraines. Yeah. So obviously, if you have a health issue that Botox is good for, I'm not saying anything about that. But yeah, people will also hide bad reviews. Yes, they will. I saw a Real Housewife from Dubai and she's 41 with the facelift already. Yeah, they're starting to get them earlier. And I also heard that Real Housewives of Dubai was canceled. So I heard that this weekend. All right, ladies, let's see what else I have to talk about here. This is Messy Money Monday, so we're going to talk about some more messiness. There is this OnlyFans girl who makes $4 million a month on OnlyFans. Let's listen to what she's got to say.
Are aware that like you're the final boss when it comes to OF, right?
Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Is that what they call it?
So this is a young lady here. She looks about 19, 20 years old. And she's making $4 million a month on OnlyFans. Let's keep listening.
And I know you saw the clip of Julia making $400,000 a month, so I just need to know, like, how much are you making a month?
I don't know if I don't really want to hurt your feelings. I just don't
Hurt my feelings? What do you mean?
I don't want to say.
You don't have to say, just show me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I won't break your phone. I actually like kind of tearing up. $4 million?
Well, she's making her money. She's making her money. I hope she's investing it well. She's got probably 5 years, if that. And now I am okay with women doing whatever they want to do in order to make their money. Understand that these things have a shelf life, and I hope you are hella investing. I hope there's life beyond this for this young lady. We also, like, I watched this OF documentary. I watched the one with the Lily girl who slept with 100 guys in a day. Something like that. Have you all been following that? Put a 9 in the chat if you've been following these OF girls, this one and the Lily girl. Put a 10 in the chat if you don't know any of this. If you don't know any of this, you're fortunate. I've just been looking overall at this here. And the things that you have to do in order to stay relevant on OnlyFans is what concerns me about these women. It's not the fact that she's getting $4 million a month. If she's getting $4 million a month, okay. Even though there's some chatter with regards to, well, who are the types of people, most of the types of men who are subscribing to this young lady, and then what are the additional things that they're asking her to do in order for her to get this kind of money? And what are the things that they're going to ask her to do when she's 22, 24, 26 years old? And is she preparing for life after this? There is something, I believe, with regards to peaking too young. Whether it's a musician, whether it's a Disney kid, whether it's an OnlyFans model, whether it's an athlete. I don't know how you all feel, but I'm glad that I'm peaking in my 40s and 50s and not in my 20s, because I was dumb with money in my 20s. I was dumb. Now in my 40s and 50s, when I get money, I know how to hold on to it. I know how to invest it more. I know how to, I knew how to purchase my own home, things like that. And yeah, there are going to be things that you and I are going to talk about as UMBWs on this channel so that you can make these good decisions earlier. But there's something to not peaking too high. And who knows if she'll ever make $40 million a year again? Who knows? And who knows the things that she has to do in order to keep up with this? In order to In order for her to make another $40 million next year, what are the things she's going to have to do? The other big thing that I noticed with the Lily girl, and it could be with this girl as well, is how many people are eating off of this girl? How many people are eating off of the Lily girl? How many people does she pay for their condos and their townhomes and their cars and their, you know, their family vacations, and they're behind the scenes and they put this young lady or they put the Lily young lady up in front. And she thinks she's a boss. She thinks she's a big boss, but somebody else has the strings. One of the best, no, not one of the best, sorry. One of the things that I believe in my heart is if you're going to be a parent, it's your job to raise nepo babies. This is why when we had the conversation about Russell Simmons' child, when we had our end of year countdown last week, and we talked about Russell Simmons' child, and somebody said, well, she paid or she went to private school and then she went to Harvard. And I said she went to Harvard and ended up on a boat with an 80-year-old man. And we're saying that's a flex. These things, even though I'm okay with women doing OnlyFans and all of that, as long as it's their decision, these things are not necessarily flexes. Not long term. Not long term. It also goes to show you how much money is being spent just on OnlyFans. And actually, let me see, because I want to say it's $6 billion. How much money did OnlyFans make in 2024? I want to say it was like $6.3 billion. $6.3 billion. And that's just one site. That doesn't include all the other sites that are out there. I saw a documentary about OnlyFans. Was it a documentary? No. It was a Forbes. It was documentary, but it was a Forbes feature with the OnlyFans. It has a female CEO, and she talked about the different creators. And yes, and that was how I saw like inside, with the creators talking about the things that they would do for $100 or $300. And, one woman that they featured was a teacher, and then she became a OnlyFans person because she wanted to pay off her student loans. And, yeah, I do believe that some women want to be sex workers, like being sex workers, things like that. And then I do also worry about other women, um, as well. But look, there's a lot of money in this. There's a lot of money. So let's see here. You all are saying girls that are barely legal don't have to do much, but everyone else has to bend over backwards and do all kinds of things. Yeah, so she may not have to do that much right now, but if she's not saving her money, investing it properly, paying her taxes, things like that, what's going to happen in 3 years or in 5 years? So Mr. Shelley is saying the concern is what she's doing for them to pay her that money. Yep. Denise is saying, I hope she's saving, investing, and then getting out of the industry. Yep. Candace Owens did do an interview with, I don't think she did the interview with her. She did the interview with the other lady, Lily, and told her that her parents shouldn't be supporting her on OnlyFans. Yeah. I did see I saw a part of Candace's interview with her. So now, this is something interesting with Candace that I will say in this specific interview. I wondered why Lily would be interested in talking to Candace Owens. She most likely knows who Candace Owens is. She most likely knows the stance that Candace Owens would have. The only reason that I thought that Lily woman would have the interview with Candace Owens is because she believes that there is enough of a segment of the Candace Owens community that would sign up to her OnlyFans. That's my conspiracy theory. Y'all can put a 2 in the chat if you believe my conspiracy theory, or y'all can tell me I am bat shit crazy. But I believe that the Lily lady, because I saw Candace said that whoever the interviewer was called or contacted Candace and said, "Would you like to speak to Lily?" And then it wasn't a surprise interview. Lily knew that she was going to speak to Candace. And I said, "Well, why would Lily want to speak to Candace if she knows what Candace is going to say?" And the only thing I could think of based on the things that I heard was that Lily believes that there's a good enough portion of Candace Owens's fan base that are going to secretly sign up to her OnlyFans. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all think I'm on to something. Y'all think I'm on to something good. I'm not crazy. I'm like, it makes no sense why that Lily girl would have gone on with Candace. Because Candace has done, what has she done? She's done the other place as well. Oh, good. Whatever, I think it is, podcast. I didn't see it. I just saw the, how YouTube feeds you certain things. I saw she was on the Whatever podcast. She's been on with Andrew Tate. So, so the girl, she's been on with the Fresh and Fit guys. She's been on with them. Yeah, it's marketing, right? They're cross marketing. And there was this somberness about Candace, but I honestly think that Candace may have, during the interview, even known this girl is using me for some OnlyFans subscribers. That's the cross marketing. So when you start going on to these channels and you start saying a whole bunch of stuff, and then those people follow you, Lily is going where the OnlyFans subscribers are, and they're on Candace Owens's channel. I'm glad y'all are my people. Y'all are saying too. You all think it as well. Oh my goodness. Yeah, same thing with Fresh and Fit. You cannot tell me. You cannot tell me. We just had the conversation about the incel men or these weird men. And these conservative men spend a lot of money in strip clubs and things like that. They do. The more conservative they are, the more money they spend in strip clubs and OnlyFans and getting on to Cornhub and places like that. The more you try to restrict them, the crazier they are and the greater lengths they'll go to, in order to get their fixes. So, hey, Purbrain is saying, but like, why would you go on these platforms other than marketing? There's no reason to. There is no reason to. Victoria's saying men are men, doesn't matter what side of the aisle they are on. That is the truth. But I heard these strippers say that they actually worked in a strip club, and they said that they've hosted the Republican National Convention and the Democrat National Convention in their cities or strip clubs or whatever. And they said that the Republicans spend more money. I heard these 2 strippers talking, and they were saying this to the camera. And I was like, sounds about right. Sounds about right. Yes, apparently the RNC broke Grindr and seeking arrangements. Yes, the more conservative family values these people are, the more repressed they are. We recognize game when we see it, says Mentor Shelley. They are the biggest deviants. Yes. Purple Rain says, yes, Oklahoma has a strip club scene. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, let's do, because we've been on for an hour, 13 minutes. We're not going to do this whole thing, but I want to show you all this. This is the scammers that are fooling Americans. And I'm going to make it a little bit smaller just so we don't get copyright issues here. But I want to show you these scammers from Ghana. Oh, y'all, watch this.
Online romance scams shifts focus from victim to scammer. We've been sharing heartbreaking stories of people fleeced out of their life savings by scammers who prey on their lonely hearts. So who would do something like this? Well, in tonight's Eye on America, CBS's Deborah Patta takes us on a stunning journey to the West African nation of Ghana, inside the secret rooms where these multi-million-dollar schemes are hatched.
Down a dusty alley in Accra, young men cast off their true white.
I have a question. Let's start off with this here. How are you gonna have a multi-million-dollar enterprise? And anybody who's from Ghana, I'm sorry to ask this, but you know, how you have a multi-million-dollar enterprise? Okay, all right, let's keep watching. I'm sorry, I can't. Oh my goodness. Oh, let's keep watching.
Down a dusty alley in Accra, young men cast off their true identities as they enter this apartment. They call it their hustle kingdom.
Look at the number of men here. Look at the number of men doing these hustle scams. And this guy in the orange here on the right-hand side, he must be the manager. He's overseeing everybody's work. Let's keep going.
Meet Ghana's Yahoo boys, online fraudsters who swindle Americans out of millions of dollars by luring them into romance scams.
I go on online dating sites, find a male friend.
Abdullah, not his real name, is part of this syndicate that we filmed undercover. Late into the night, he scours online dating sites, preying on lonely older men over the age of 60, posing as this woman.
I'm going to make a statement right here, ladies, and I want you to put a 5 in the chat just to show me or that you're listening to me. Don't think that these romance scams cannot come back to you. They've got this young lady here. AI is getting smarter. Put a 5 in the chat if you hear me. Don't think that these things cannot flip onto you. We've had the whole messy money conversation being about what? A lot of it being about loneliness and us doing things that don't make sense for us. Put a 5 in the chat for me so you know what I'm saying. Don't think, especially with AI and the AI voice training and different things like that, that people are not going to be able to scam you out of your life savings if you are not smart, if you allow loneliness to get in the way of your financial sensibilities. So let's keep watching here. So they put her picture up. We don't even know who this chick is. And it's let's come back here. It's them in a room, right? It's them in a room, but they've got her picture. Let's come back here. They've got
Preying
her
on lonely
picture.
older men over the age of 60, posing as
They got her picture up. So Mr. Shelley saying it's unfortunate, but you have a Caribbean sector of scammers too. It's the truth. Loneliness is the biggest market to capitalize on. Every story you've covered tonight is all out of loneliness. It's the truth. It's the truth. Jennifer Lewis. Yes. Jennifer Lewis fell for a romance scam, but he was a real man. Yes. These people will target you as UMBWs. This is what I'm trying to say. And they don't even have to be in a room with you. These individuals can target you. Let me show this here. From an area like this. These individuals can target you in a room like this. All they need to know is what to say to you and how to say it. And now they can use the AI to talk to you and they can go to sleep. Let's see here. So we're going to hear more from Abdullah.
I'll go on Instagram, use a girl's picture. I pretend to be a girl. Chat with him,
The scammers pretend to be white American women residing in the US, tricking men into falling in love with them. But these are small-time hustlers working for a boss who sets them up with phones, laptops, electricity, and internet. And there are hundreds.
And we cannot really blame these individuals too much. I don't blame the young people here. They've got to eat. They've got to take care of their families as well. They look like they're in an impoverished area. So I am by no means blaming these young individuals. I'm just saying, ladies, we need to protect ourselves. Victoria says she did a consult with a young man that spent $30K on strippers because he was lonely. It's real out here. It's the truth. Purple Rain is saying that's why you need to run background checks with forensics and PIs. And you need to maybe have 2 different PIs run it in case they're missing the VPNs and all of that stuff that people are using. So yeah, let's keep watching.
Hundreds more underground boiler rooms just like this throughout Ghana.
I'm the mastermind behind the whole thing.
That's syndicate boss Voodoo, together with a senior member who calls himself Kola. They've agreed to speak to us on condition we conceal their identities.
I come from a poor family and a poor background.
And in a world connected by the click of a button, they've turned to cyber fraud.
How am I going to survive?
Kola's a university graduate who can't find a job.
I feel disappointed. Like, I didn't go to school to do this. Is that why we take money from?
He's a university graduate. He probably has a good he's probably got a good degree as well, right? He's probably super smart in order to be the leader of this thing. So this individual is not a less than smart person. This individual is quite smart. And if you put him under the right circumstances, could probably rival an Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or anybody like that. But this is unfortunately what they have to do, right? Because of their circumstances. So this is why I'm very much about us as UMBWs always being grateful for the opportunity we have in the United States. Because no matter what, there are people who are infinitely less fortunate than we are in the United States. Infinitely. There are a million other ways that you and I can make money that they can't, just because most of us were either born here or we immigrated here or our parents immigrated here and blessed us with this opportunity. Or I know that I have a couple of my young ladies in Europe. Same thing for you, right? So let's keep listening.
To do this. Is that why we take money from people? Imagine that is my dad. But hey, in our game, there's no sympathy. Because once you go on the sympathetic side, you go hungry.
At the very bottom of the syndicate, new recruits learn the tricks of the trade, starting out by trawling the internet for new clients. Once hooked, the closers like Voodoo and Kola step in.
I've fished everywhere in the world.
Which areas of the world are easier to catch?
Okay, easier to catch is Americans.
It's easier to catch Americans. It's easier for them to catch Americans. So they have these lower level individuals that go out, they go fishing, right? They're perusing all of the websites, all of the forums, all the things like that. And then once they have somebody on the hook, then the upper level guys can actually close them. And you all have to listen to this. I think this is the part that I really wanted you to hear. Let's keep going.
Here he's chatting with a 60-year-old man, posing as Sandra, living in New York, who'll soon be visiting her grandmother in Africa.
Y'all, he's posing as the chick. They didn't even hire women. At least Andrew Tate hired women. But then according to some of the things I heard, I didn't hear from Andrew Tate directly because I don't listen to the man. But according to what I heard about Andrew Tate had the women communicating with the men. And then at some point, he said the women weren't doing it right. And he just communicated with the men themselves and fleeced these men out of their life savings. This Ghanaian man is sitting here having a conversation like he is an American girl from Kentucky. This is amazing.
The man asks what she looks like. Voodoo pulls this image from a
Oh, let's look at this.
asks what she looks like.
This is lust. This is lust. Oh, they want a barely legal girl. And if you're dating a man like this, I would suggest you not marry him. This is sick. It's beyond loneliness, right? We can't get age appropriate women in here. Oh no. Yeah, it's insane. It is. Yeah, the Tate brothers did a whole operation. Yes, they did. These people are in multiple threads spilling their personal business. Yes, they are. And they're mad with the world. And the madder they are, the easier it is for the young people to come, hook them, and then toss them over to the big guys to close. And these individuals make multiple millions of dollars a year doing this. I also read that people are grabbing girls that sit in the car for a bit instead of immediately getting out after they park. Yep. I've heard that too. You have to be careful. But in Ghana, they don't have jobs available for the smartest people there. That's true. That is true too. That is true too. Is the talented role play acting for me? Yes. Yes. Let's keep watching this.
Voodoo pulls this image from a porn site. Here's what comes next. The illusion of a budding romance. It begins with sending little tokens of affection, like chocolates or a teddy bear. They message constantly, laying on the attention and flattery. Then it's more expensive gifts to create the perception they are independently wealthy. When a victim insists on a video call, Voodoo hires online porn stars and records them acting out scenarios that he directs, from the mundane to the more raunchy.
They think they're talking to this beautiful blonde woman. Yeah.
So they know what women to go get in order to do this scheme. They know what women to go get in order to do this scheme. Let's keep listening.
A fate to just have her on a video call.
If the victim gets suspicious, Voodoo works his magic. Here, he uses the image of one of his porn stars to forge an American passport as proof of identity. For in-person visits, they hire escorts who get a cut of the profits. Building trust can take months.
He do all that to get his attention and the trust. Boom, then we chip in business.
It's time for the big con, getting them to part with huge sums of money. The setup often centers around Ghana's globally renowned gold mines, the largest in Africa. The scammers, still posing as a woman, claim they're in line to inherit one of these mines. The victim is invited to invest in the mine with the promise of huge returns that will secure the happy couple's future together. All sealed with a forged ownership document, complete with an official seal.
Yep. That's how you end up. And this is a whole confidence scheme. It's a whole confidence scheme. That's all this is. And don't think it can't happen to you. All we want to do is catch it early. Catch it early. That's it.
Yahoo boys and their hustle kingdoms are glamorized in popular West African culture. Voodoo
Sounds familiar, right? Popularized in West African culture. Sound familiar, right? Like hip hop back in the 90s, 2000s. I don't know what they're playing now, but I definitely back in the 90s, 2000s. Sounds like hip hop, right? They glamorize this and everybody wants to get into it.
and Cola claim their biggest payout was in the millions.
Every person have money. If you don't have money, the bank can borrow you money.
Do people go into debt?
People are going into debt in order to do this. So basically ruining their financial lives.
Then, because of you.
Yeah.
They live a flashy lifestyle, expensive clubs, beach parties, fancy cars. We filmed one group celebrating a big payout by just throwing money in the air.
We get the point. We get the point. No, it's not always a quick hit. These guys are patient. They will wait months, if not a year, to catch you. Absolutely will. Yes, they're playing the long game and the scammers go deep. Absolutely. Her brain is saying, I'm telling you, even the top law firms fall for it every time. Yes, they do. The scams is the worse the economy gets globally, the scams are about to get like more elaborate and more elaborate. That's why you got to be on your P's and Q's. You have to be watching for these things. You have to think 5 steps ahead of the criminals. These men got paperwork, forged paperwork. They got forged passports. They got forged stockholder certificates for mining companies. This is the exact same thing as somebody coming to you, sweet talking in your ear, oh baby, give me $50,000 to invest in this house. We're going to fix and flip it and going to make a whole bunch of money. You my baby, you my sweetheart. I love you. He curl your toes and all of that stuff. We're grown, right? We're UNBWs. We can have this conversation. I'm just telling you to watch out. I always tell you to know what you're doing. Because if these romance scams are serious. These individuals are okay with you going in debt and ruining your financial life so that they can make it rain in a club. They do not care about you. And there are people from romance scams, men in the United States, to men overseas, to even women. And I'm not just saying, rainbow, right? But people who are going to be like sister girls with you. They're going to be sister girls with you, and they're going to sister girl you out of your entire financial security if you mess around with them. So I'm just saying to watch what you're doing. Yes, people are taking from their 401ks over all of these scams and paying the tax penalties. Yes, they are. ATL is known as scammer culture, according to Purple Rain. I've heard that as well. I've definitely heard that as well. Mr. Shelley is saying it's really dangerous. Yes, which is why you have to be conscious of when you are starting new relationships with people, whether they are in real life or they're on YouTube or they're, in these forums and things like that. And people will meet you and you think you're meeting the person you've been talking to, and instead the person you've been talking to has hired a model to come and play in your face. That's what this guy is doing. In Ghana, he's playing some chick. He's paying some escort to come and play in your face. You think people won't do that to you? We have to think 5 steps ahead of the criminals. Purple Rain is saying even Hush Puppy targeted American law firms and Middle Eastern companies as well. I don't know about this, but I'm pretty sure. We have a bunch of proverbs that imply patience, so it makes sense why they played the long game. Absolutely. Absolutely, Purple Rain. And love bombing is real. Yes, it is. And they're kind of hard to catch. You have to be looking out for it. You have to, because I've had people try to run these things on me. It's easier if you catch it early. It's easier if you catch it early. And if you have certain rules around your life with regards to what you will and won't do around your money, and you stick to those rules. So that's all I can say. And you might never get your money back. Most of these people will never get their money back. Purple Rain says, I literally watch Catfish for research purposes. You probably got some stories. Catfish, the show, has been going on for decades and is still happening. Yes, it is. That show, I've never seen that show, but that show is trying to warn people. This is how people do it. Like To Catch a Predator was another thing. This is how people do it. These are how people are luring your 12-year-old daughters through the internet to their houses, and yet parents aren't paying attention. People aren't paying attention. They aren't taking the real life application, or they think, well, those people are dumb. That's, those people weren't smart enough to catch it. I'm smart enough to. I'm telling you that all of us need to be cautious and careful. Another reason they get away with it is because the target will not share this relationship with their loved ones. That is true. They choose isolated people, or they choose people who want to keep secrets from their families. Absolutely. Purple Rain is saying, oh yeah, I remember To Catch a Predator. They ran that dude off the air for some reason. He was doing the necessary work. Yes, he was. He was trying to tell you, this is how people lure your 12-year-old daughters to some house and you don't see them again. So yes, I don't know what happened to him, but yes, overall, that was the Lord's work. If he was doing something he had no business doing, I don't know about it. So I'm not going to say anything about him. But that show was the Lord's work. It was. So, all right. Well, that was Messy Money Topics for today. Put a 7 in the chat if you enjoyed yourself this evening. Put a 7 in the chat if you enjoyed yourself this evening. I was tired when I came on, but y'all gave me some life tonight. So I'm still tired. I'm still going to go to bed now that we're done. But I hope you all learned something. And you also had a good time tonight with our Messy Money Topics. And, just have your head on a swivel. That's like the really big thing, ladies. It's for all of us to just have our heads on a swivel. Thank you for the 7s. Please keep putting your 7s in the chat. Don't forget, if you want to be my research assistant, it's probably going to start in March or April. I'm looking for UMBW who is on TikTok a lot, Twitter, Reddit, and Instagram, or at the very least TikTok and Instagram, looking to have somebody research some stuff, send me some really good clips, really good stories, so that we can get these financial literacy lessons that we need on Mondays. And like I said before, I'm only going to go live on Mondays at between 7 and 7:30. And I might drop a couple of recorded videos, but other than that, you'll only see me once a week while I get my life together with regards to this promotion. So promotion's going to kick my butt for the next couple of months until I get everything together. But thank you, ladies, for putting the 7s in the chat. I appreciate you so much. Hit the like button, on the video on your way out. And hope you all have a blessed evening. Good night, everybody.